Sledge. I found him. North Cervesari.
En route. 30 seconds.
Checking vitals. He's still in stasis. We've got company.
Lion, what are you seeing?
You have hostiles inbound.
Contact.
Right here. Now!
Rainbow Six Extraction, the newest game from Ubisoft in the Rainbow Six series of games. A PvE co-op tactical shooter that you can play by yourself or get some friends to play with. Today, I will be talking about what I think of the game as a whole on this very first episode of In My Opinion. Hello and welcome to In My Opinion, the new little series that I want to start talking about kind of whenever I want to. Probably mainly just like game reviews, just opinions I have on specific things. Not because I have a very interesting take on things, but I just like talking. I like hearing myself talk. So today, I want to talk about Rainbow Six Extraction. I will preface this by saying I've only played Rainbow Six Siege. I put quite a bit of time into Siege. I don't know how many hours. Hang on. I have about 44 hours in Rainbow Six Siege. Know about Rainbow Six in a way. Now, Rainbow Six Extraction takes everything that you know about Rainbow Six Siege and kind of throws it all out the window. Basically, I'll explain the general premise of the game, okay? Basically, there's an alien parasite that has taken over a bunch of cities and places around what seems to only be the United States for the time being. I will preface this by saying that this game came out January 20th, so it's, as of the time of me recording this, it's not even a month old. Yeah, so basically, you can go in either by yourself or with some friends. You basically you drop into a location, and then you have 3 objectives that you have to go around and do. The more you do, the more XP you get, the more you can like level up and everything. And then there's like other goals that you can do during it, progress the lore, I guess. You can have up to 3 people in like a squad, and then you just meticulously go through the areas, find your objectives, do your objectives, and then go to the next sub area. Or you can extract at any time. That's also an option. I've been able to play it a good amount, both by myself and with other people. I've played about 14 hours of it, and I've had a really fun time, I'm not gonna lie. It's just a fun kind of game, you know? There's 18 different operators you can use, all of them from Rainbow Six Siege. They're all twisted into being useful in Extraction. I like it because it's a serious game. You have to take it seriously. Like, yeah, you can try to have fun with it, but at the same time, you need to take it somewhat seriously or you're not gonna survive. That's what I like about it. I like it being like that serious style kind of game that you can play with your friends too. I will say it is repetitive. You get a lot of the same sort of objectives every time, which is like fine. They're like all interesting and like all have different elements, and also something that I do like the difficulty, well, not the difficulty, I think, how does it word it? It words it like the difficulty depends on how many people are in your thing. So right now there are like 4 difficulty levels. I don't remember the names. It's like a section, it's like 4 like bars. It's like moderate, cautious, something, which is like the second hardest, and then the hardest. I haven't played on the hardest difficulty. I just haven't yet, mainly because I want a full squad of people to do that. But I've played on the second hardest difficulty, and it's hard. Just being honest, it's difficult to play. By yourself anyway. If I had a full squad, I'd like, sure, whatever. But it's hard. And Something about hard games is super fun to me. Like Dark Souls. I'll talk about this in a later episode, but The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 1 isn't particularly difficult, but the second one is a lot more difficult. And I like that style of game where you actually have to try and it's hard to do. The enemies in Extraction are interesting. Like, there's all different kinds of enemies, and depending on what difficulty you are playing at, it depends on what enemies spawn. Like, you won't get the same enemy spawns at, like, the easiest versus, like, the second hardest. Like, it's just a difficulty scale, honestly. Like, it is a brand new game. The visuals are fucking gorgeous. Obviously, it's gorgeous. But overall, I think the game is super fun, especially with friends. I think it's super fun. I really enjoy playing it. I've done a lot of solo. I've done quite a bit of like trios too. Super fun to play with your friends. It's $40 right now. It's not on Steam, which is a little bit strange. You can get it like from Ubisoft Connect Store, Epic Games Store. So yeah, overall, I think it's a really fun game. It's not for everybody. Like, some people don't like difficult games, which is like fine. Like, everyone has like their own personal preference. I'll probably do this kind of every time, but show what other people think of it. So this is on a website called digitaltrends.com. To preface this is one of the reviews that come up. I generated this a 7 out of 10, which is honestly, to me, a fair rating for the game. I'm actually really looking forward to see what Ubisoft does with the rest of the game, because like, it's only been not less than a month, you know? I'm really looking forward to it. But this one, I disagree with. Quite heavily. It makes it easy for me. It lists the pros and cons here. So this website makes it easy for me. I don't need to read the whole article to get what they're trying to say about the game. Conveniently at the top, they give a pros cons list. Up here, MSRP $40, I said that. Pros, fresh squad tactics, gorgeous visuals, which I both agree with. Like, that's good. Pros, fresh squad tactics. It's super fun to play with friends. You can like strategically do things, take out enemies in sequence. It's super fun. The cons is where I very much go on the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, let's start with the first one. Nonsensical Story. Why are you playing a FPS PvE tactical game for the story? That's the part that I don't understand. I saw this before. Why are you playing an FPS for the story? I haven't followed the fucking story. I could give a shit less. I'm there for the gameplay, not the story. Okay, it's not supposed to be like a single player story game. It's supposed to be like a multiplayer FPS PvE tactical shooter. I don't care about the story. I'm having fun with just the gameplay on its own. Now, this is just me. I'm not speaking for everybody. Maybe you got it because you thought, oh, this is gonna be a good story. I was in it for the gameplay from the get-go, to be honest. I want to move on to the second point here. No fun playing alone. I disagree. I've spent more time playing this game alone than I have with other people. Yes, it is difficult. You have to focus. You have to be aware of everything. You have to watch your entire 360. Make sure you're not triggering an enemy that'll trigger other enemies, and then you just die. So, and plus it's adaptive to how many people are in your squad. So if you just solo queue into like a map, it's gonna adapt to how many people are in your squad, and it makes the objectives easier. Like, for example, there is an objective, have to destroy the arc spines or arc splines or something like that. You have to plant a bomb on it for like a minute and a half. You have to guard this bomb for a minute and a half before it goes off. If you had 2 or more people, you would have to guard 2. If it's just by yourself, you only have to guard 1, which is showing that adaptive difficulty that I was just talking about. And there's less enemies. I don't think that's true, actually. There's not less enemies. I'm pretty sure all the adaptive difficulty is just the objectives. It makes the objectives easier as a whole. Like, and there's another objective where you have to get like arborant eggs or arborant nests. That's what they're called. And they're like green and they like glow. And you have to destroy a specific amount of nests before you can collect a sample from like the main nest or whatever. And if you're playing with 3 people, you have to destroy 15, which is like 5 each, whatever. If you do it solo, it's only 5. Like, that's how it makes it easier for you. Like, you can very easily go into like the easiest game mode and play and have fun, you know. Like, you have to take it seriously though, or else you're gonna fuck up. And just, yeah, I disagree with it saying that it is no fun playing alone. I very much disagree with that. I do agree with this. Repetitive objectives. They are repetitive. Yes, they are. I guess it just sort of makes sense as to why they're repetitive. I don't have a problem with doing the same thing over and over again. Like, I've never had a problem with that, especially in like a video game. I don't mind the fact that it is repetitive. The harder difficulty that it is on, like, you get the parasite mutations, which makes it even harder to do, which makes doing the objectives harder, which is great. I don't mind the repetitive objectives. Like, to each their own. I don't care. Whatever. This one, oh, I hate this one. Frustrating difficulty. The point of the game is to be kind of difficult. That's the point. It's not gonna be like it's not a super easy game because you have to take it seriously. You can't go into a shooter game and expect it to be easy, especially like a PvE game like Extraction is. Like, other games are like GTFO. This game reminds me of GTFO, which GTFO is a great game. It has some similar aspects, but not the same. But frustrating difficulty bugs me. Just stop being a pussy. Be better at the game. Commit to learning the mechanics of the game to be better at the fucking game. You can't, like, sit here and say it's frustrating without being better at the fucking game. I'm just saying. Like, it bugs me so much when people say, oh, this game's too hard. Play fucking better. Okay? That's all it is. Genuinely, that's what I think. I'm not bullshitting. That's what I think. I wouldn't say that just because I can. I wouldn't do it for views. Honestly. Like, this game isn't easy. That's the point. Like, they rated it like a two star out of fucking... Yeah, disappointing. Needs some work, whatever. Fuck you. Yeah, whoever wrote this is dumb and just bad at fucking game. Who is this? Thomas Francis? Who is this? This fucking guy. He just joined and created a shitty article about a good game? Wow. Now, to be fair, the game is rather limited right now. It is a newer game. It's out less than a month now, which is fine, you know? It's all fine. Okay, I'm actually very much looking forward to see what else they do with it. Adding more objectives, more locations, more operators, stuff like that. That's the stuff I'm expecting. Now, would I recommend this game? It depends on like what you're in it for, you know? I'm in it for the gameplay. I'm in it for how difficult it is. I love committing time to learning mechanics, to stuff that I actually like doing, you know what I mean? If you don't like want to spend time and be frustrated when you first start playing because you don't know the mechanics, then maybe it's not the game for you, you know? Like, I'm not here to tell you to play it. I like it. This is called In My Opinion after all. This is all my opinion. You don't take everything with a grain of salt because it is just my opinion, you know? I like the game. My friends like the game. You know, it's fun. What would I rate it? I guess it's... I don't necessarily want to go into like individual categories of like rating, and I don't want to do that necessarily. I'm just gonna get an overall rating. I will give Rainbow Six Extraction I give it 8 out of 10. At least in my opinion. I think it's a fun game. Like, genuinely, I have a really good time. I don't think there's anything else I really need to say about it. Check it out. I will say there is a free demo that you can play. It's like a 2-hour, like you can play the full game for 2 hours. get a feel for it. If you're not into it, you don't need to pay for it. That is something that I did like about it. There's a free demo that you can play, 2-hour long thing that you can play. Get a feel for the game, like it, buy it. It's $40. It's less than most games these days when they first come out. If you don't like it, then don't buy it, you know? Well, I think this concludes the first episode of In My Opinion with me, Baby Men. Yeah. All my socials are down in the description. I'm probably going to be trying to do more of these because it is like shorter. It'll be different content from gaming. And that's what I want to strive for with this series. I want to talk about and do other things other than gaming. You know, I like talking. I like speaking my mind on specific topics, you know. This is going to be the very first episode, and I'm excited to put it out there, you know. This concludes the first episode of In My Opinion with me, Baby Men. If you're interested in any other stuff that I do, subscribe. I'll be doing more of these. I've been trying to be better about uploading and everything. Like my Twitch, Twitter, Instagram are in the description. I even have an Amazon wish list of stuff that could help make better stuff, better content, just in general. Everything down there, if anyone got me for me, you know, it's super appreciative, obviously. I will probably personally shout out whoever got me anything, because I'd be super appreciative that someone would be willing to do something like that. This concludes this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed yourself, like, subscribe. If there's something that you want me to talk about, write it in the comments. And then maybe I'll decide if I actually want to talk about your topic. Everybody, next time on the next episode of In My Opinion.